Howdy, y'all. How are you doing? I need to figure out how to see the chat. Oh, there it is. There it is. Sorry for clearing my throat. Welcome, everybody. Howdy to the replay crew. I don't get to say, I don't think to. It's my bad. I don't think to say hi to you guys very often. But we've often got this little bit of isolated time at the beginning just for you. So today, the reason I was late is I was looking at this interesting paper on cultural marginality, talking about the experiences of Hare Krishna kids who were raised in Hare Krishna. And hi, Kristen, how are you? It's good to see you. And it's a very interesting paper. I'd have to go into it in more detail to kind of see in which ways it might be related. Hey, Nebulous. Hi, Nico. How are you? You're watching on your TV today, huh? You know what I discovered? If I'm on my Apple TV, then I can watch the chat in YouTube on my TV. It's good to see you too, Kristen. Thanks for the hugs, Nebulous. I could use them. I'm a little chilly, and hugs are always good when you're cold. It's a little bit chilly in here, and I don't have a sweater. Maybe if I keep being chilly. Indigo, how are you, sweetie? Maybe if I continue to be cold, I will run over and get a jacket. There's one over on the dog fence. It's hanging over the dog fence over there. I've got a jacket not too far away. You watch via your NVIDIA Shield device. That's cool, Nico. That's cool. Cricket, it is good to see you. How's everybody doing? It has been a difficult week, a difficult few weeks. And so I wanted to take a moment here in this laid back way. Speaking of which, what do you guys think about my background? What do you think? You like it? I thought it was kind of fun. I've also got no, that's not the one. That's not it either. Well, for crying out loud. There we go. They are good warmers. They are good warmers. They won't be a kitty blanket, though. Neither of them are into it. They're waiting to be fed, and I forgot to fed them. So I've got that background. I've got this background. Here we go. Back to the beginning. I'm glad, Nico. That sounds great. These, I went, if you go to Microsoft, Microsoft has an AI image generator. And it is so much fun to use, guys. You just, have you guys seen this? I mean, we could create an image. We could create an image ourselves together. Let me see. Hi, honey. Where are you going? Hold on a second, children. Folks, child number 4 is here. You've been using AI to make cartoons. That sounds cool, Cricket. I'd love to see some. You should send me some, please. I would love to see some. Moving all over the place. Sorry, guys. Hi, Evie. Looks like Cinnamon Christmas. Yeah, it does look a little Christmassy. It's supposed to look mystical and magical, but apparently that's Christmassy. They're on your community page. Ooh, they're on your community page, Cricket. Cinnamon Roll Day in Sweden? They have a cinnamon, y'all have a cinnamon roll day? I mean, it's America. We got to have a cinnamon roll day too, but I didn't know they had a cinnamon roll day in Sweden. I love cinnamon rolls. I love cinnamon rolls. So long as they don't have raisins. Don't put raisins in my cinnamon rolls. They don't work together. Let me see if I can get signed in. I'm going to see if I can show you guys. Just a minute. Show you guys. Hold on. I think I just fixed it. Trying to make this work for y'all. Oh, you're going to move around for a second, guys. Sorry. Hold on. This is the problem. With using my phone as a camera. Let's see if I still see you guys. Damn it. Look at that. I think I might have to move to Sweden. No raisins? Yay, Nico. No. Hootie. Am I reconnected, guys? Korvapusti. Well, I'm going to have to make these. Oh my goodness. These look sort of like rugula. Oh, I've done all this and I can't remember how to file share. Let's see. Here we go. Look at those. Cinnamon sticks and dried star fruit with a dash of nutmeg in any red wine warmed up to make mulled wines, slowly slipping away in a cinnamon roll. I love mulled wine. Cinnamon sticks, a little bit of clove, a dash of star and anise. Yeah, mulled wine is. Here are Nico's Korvapusti. There we go. Those look amazing. Those look amazing. I'm going to have the rest. Spruce seeds is usually pretty good. It's not too complicated a recipe. Brown sugar and cinnamon. We're from cinnamon roll size can be dinner plate sized if you want dinner plate size. 14 inches. I'm sure they can be bigger. And I'm not even from Texas. It should be bigger. maybe bigger. So how's everybody doing? Like I said, it has been a very difficult week. Press the ends properly before putting in the oven. Okay. I figured press. Okay, I will remember that's the press. In fact, I will write it down. What are these called again? I've forgotten already. Now, this translation says it slapped ears. Corvapusti says slapped means slapped ears is what this recipe says. Nico, do you know these Finnish pastries that you then put egg butter on top of? I can't remember what they're called. They're shaped like this. A slap over the ear and chin. Ah. A slap over the ear and chin. That's a specific sort of slap. That's a very specific sort of slap. So we have a Finnish friend, and she makes us these pastries that I can't remember what they're called. And then she makes egg butter, which is something I had never had. You know this one. Okay. Karjalan Piraka. Yeah, those. Those. We eat them with egg butter. They're pretty amazing. Find some good pictures and show you guys. There we go. Cardamom bread. Oh, indigo. Your ancestry is Finnish, Karelia. Of course, you know them. Well, I bet you're surprised. I know them. See, that was the surprise that I know them with egg butter. So these are Karjalan Piraka. What is the translation? What's a name we in English can use? Karelian pies. And here they are with the egg butter on top. And egg butter, you guys, Indigo, I'm sorry you came back to things on fire. It has been a little insane. Karelian pierogies. I love making cardamom bread too. Cardamom bread is cardamom anything, cardamom pastries, cardamom rolls. If it's got cardamom, I'm for it. We have Indigo. There are cardamom bitters. Do you know how good they are over ice cream? So, egg butter is hard boiled egg mixed with soft butter. Kind of like you'd make egg salad. but with butter. Eggs and hard-boiled eggs and mayonnaise, but hard-boiled eggs and butter. Oh my goodness gracious. Egg butter is marvelous on them. That food was made to bring to work as much of the work was done out in the forests and the fields. Hey, Paolo, how are you? Yeah, they're tasty. She loves them, our Finnish friend. And the egg butter, that stuff is amazing. Yep, chopped the hard-boiled eggs good and mixed in partly melted butter. That's about what she did. It's amazing. It's amazing. I I never knew there was such a thing, Nico. Cardamom clementine cocktail. Ooh. Okay, Lily. La Liha. You guys' language. Ooh, meat pies. I like meat pie. Do they come in all different mixes? All different varieties? Yeah, they remind me about pierogies. I think these look particularly good. Why do we end up liha means meat, piroha means pierogi. Got it. Fuzzy, I don't know why we always end up talking about food. I really don't know why. It's kind of funny. How you doing, Fuzzy? Big Chief, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. There is a standard mix, but they are often served with some sausage and mustard. Nice. Very nice. So we are just talking about various types of tasty food. We started on cinnamon rolls. Yeah, the way to our heart goes through our stomachs. That's true, Nico. That's why we always end up talking about food in here. We started talking about cinnamon rolls and cinnamon roll day. Nico just had cinnamon roll day. I know we do that all the time, Big Chief. Making people hungry. You missed. Shall I show you the beautiful pictures of the finished cinnamon rolls? Check these out, Big Chief. So I'm going to ask one more time and make sure that y'all are doing okay and there's nothing you need to talk about. I like cheese Danish too, Fuzzy. I like cheese Danish too. You derailed the subject. Yeah. So we don't have to talk about how things are going. I don't I don't want to force people to talk about how things are going. I just want to give people a space to talk about how they're feeling and how things are going if people want to talk about that. So, egg baked casserole. I like those too, Indigo. Cheese Danish. I love a good cheese Danish. But there aren't many Danishes you'll get me to turn down. I love Danish. I'm very partial to Danish. Kupla, mea kupla. I'm going to start saying it, mea kupla. That's funny, DJ. That's funny. You enjoyed book club? It was fun, wasn't it? It would be lovely to have more members join. I'm streaming on Restream today, so one of the things I don't like about that, and maybe I'll go fix it here. Give me a second. Because I really don't like it. One of the things I don't like about it is on Restream, when I'm watching the chat, I cannot see who members and who are not members. You also don't turn Danish down, huh? They're cute men. You're hilarious. Okay, let's see. Back here we are. That's not what I need. You guys saw me fussing with Orion. My mouse is giving me trouble. Okay, that's better. Now I can sort of see. Hi, puppy. You want to come say hi? Everybody wants to see you. You want to come say hi? Come here. Here he is, guys. Nico. Yes, it would be nice. Members only book club was a lot of fun and really interesting, you guys. And it would be so nice. You know what? I'm going to turn the background off while Bubba is sitting in my lap here because you guys can't see him. Did I just call Orion Indigo? I think I did. Did I just call you Indigo, Bubba? I think I did. Can you say hi to everybody? Yeah, can you say hi to everybody? There he is. There's my big boy. Look at that. Look at that. Yes. Yes. Oh, you guys can't see, but his foot's a going. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes, a good boy. That's a good boy. I found a spot. I did find a spot. Look. Okay. You say hi to everybody. Yeah. Danny, he is a sweetie. He He is a sweetie. Thank you. His name is Orion, and he is a 3-year-old miniature dachshund. Fab Daddy, how are you doing? Sorry, guys, this is dog show-off time. Let's go back to corner joint time. Oh. Thank you, Indigo. I don't know if he loves me. He's a little hellion, that one. Are you a good boy? Are you a good boy? See, now I'm half disappearing to deal with the dog some more. Yes, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Love hound, not dachshund. That sounds about right, Fuzzy. That sounds about right. Sorry, guys, my mouth is dry. Orion. Yes, like Orion's belt. Yeah, it sounds like Orion, doesn't it, Maya? I can see the confusion. I can totally see the confusion. How's things going, Danny? I haven't seen you around lately. I mean, I know you've been around. I just haven't seen you in here, is what I'm saying. I hope you're doing well. You got a dachshund to cuddle as a baby? Still have it? Oh, Nico, send me a picture. That's so exciting. Fab Daddy, the book club, both book clubs are going very well. For those of you who don't know, I think most of you know. For those of you who don't know, oh, did you guys see? I need to know. Did you guys see my thumbnail for tomorrow night's book club? Did anybody see it? I've posted it. Please tell me if you guys saw it. I made my first, I think so, Nico. I think so. I made my first thumbnail, you guys. Do you want to see it? Let me see if I can find it. Thrasher. Thrasher was at book club, and it was so lovely to have them. Hmm. It's a great thumbnail. Thank you, Indigo. Is it really fuzzy? I'm so excited about it. I'll show you. Give me a second. Let me find it. I am still struggling with how to find things on the iPad. Okay. Where is it now? Here it is. There it is. There it is. What do you think? What do you think, guys? Did I lose you guys? No. You call Dachshund's furnace pipe? That's funny, Maya. That's funny. There you go, Maya. Yeah, it was easier than I expected, you guys. It was easier than I expected. You didn't lose you? Oh, good. We hoped that you had fun. You're still on chapter 1? Well, we're going to do chapter 2 and 3. Chapter 1 of which book? The Trump book or the Jenna Miscavige book? Somebody wants back up, y'all. So give me a moment here. You like it? Thank you, Indigo. Oh, Orion, don't lick my face, Bubba. No, I don't want my face licked. I don't want my face licked. I also don't want to keep disappearing. Yeah, let's turn this off. Fix the camera. And you can sit here. All of the books? All of the books? Good, Fab Daddy, you're still on chapter 1. Well, you're welcome to join us, regardless of how many chapters. Cricket! That's excellent. Don't lick my face. Don't lick my face. I guess I didn't realize that you still needed subs, Cricket. I'm sorry. I would have been working harder to get you over 50 subs. That's amazing that you did that. That's such a hard one to reach. Yep, you can still join if you didn't read it. We're going to talk about interesting things. So, and we love to have you there. We love the feedback. I think Thrasher had a good time, even though they hadn't read the book. You want soda? Hey, brain fog. That's enough. That's enough. You're reading it by Audible, Cricket? No. Indigo is reading it by Cricket. But yeah, guys, I haven't even taken it's Orion. Oh my goodness, child. What's the deal? What's the deal? The dog is being insistent, y'all. I don't know if we're going to get a soda anytime soon. Enough. What? Okay. Enough. Get down. Yeah. Thank you. That's enough. You sent me the pic on Facebook. Okay. Now I want to look at that. That's good. There it is. With a picture of me too. He is being really huggy. He is being really huggy. Thank you, Thrasher. He's kind of adorable, but really huggy today. Nico, he's adorable. Can I show everybody? Yes, so it only shows up when you're streaming, Brain Fog. Oh, no, he hasn't drug any more pans out of the kitchen. No, he hasn't done that lately. Have you? You find whatever else you can find, any other piece of trash. You just decided you would ask. Fuzzy has also been wonderful dropping your link all over town. Fuzzy is the best. Guys, drop Cricket's link. Do I have somebody on here? Oh, yeah, Danny. Thank you, Evie. He does like your voice, even if it's going off in my head, Brain Fog. Everyone loves your voice and laughter. Indeed, Nico. Danny, if you're still here, Danny, I don't know what I was thinking. Congrats on your win. That's excellent and amazing. Your dog's needy today, too? Now I've got dog hair. Kristen, back to the Hare Krishna kids. Thank you for remembering that thread. So guys, if you came in late and you didn't start from the beginning, I don't think I have any moderators in here, y'all, do I? I don't think I have any moderators. Well, let me do it myself. Just a second. Here we go. Go subscribe to Cricket, y'all. So the Hare Krishna kids, these Hare Krishna kids were interesting. So I got it, Indigo, but thank you very much. Thank you very much. So what I started out talking about at the beginning for the reason I was late is this really interesting paper on cross-cultural adaptation of marginalized individuals, specifically related to second-generation Hare Krishnas. And I think that it's an interesting analysis, but I'm not sure. So here, let's read the abstract. The purpose of this study was to explore the cross-cultural adaptation of a sample of adults raised in the Hare Krishna culture. 15 second-generation International Society for Krishna Consciousness adults were asked to describe their family, peer, and social interactions and the perceived impact on their cross-cultural adaptation. An analysis of participant responses generating the following 15 themes. Age and context of first contact with mainstream culture, process of cultural adaptation, parents' marital status, family relationships, layers of marginality, community norms and values, identity crises, self-esteem and self-esteem scores, views of ISKCON, of Hare Krishna culture, views of mainstream culture, cultural vernacular, cultural emblems, role models, current cultural membership, and future family vision. The outcome of this study was discussed with possible clinical issues, which included the complexities of cultural belongingness, healthy and self-destructive aspects of adaptation, and feelings of terminal uniqueness. Hey, Nebulous. So, the interesting I thought this would be an interesting study, and it is as relates to cultural belonging of second generation Hare Krishnas. But most of these kids are still affiliated with the church. So this is an examination that is not quite what it would look like for Scientologists who have left. Um, I got the impression there was always a presence on the Boston Common in the early 80s. Cricket, did you know um, that I am descended from the man who used to own the Boston Common? I am there's some history for you tonight. They didn't fair game you. Yeah, I mean Nebulous, the reason that this paper was interesting to me was because of the cultural similarities that I perceived might be there between the experiences of second generation or third generation Hare Krishna and the experiences of second generation and third generation um, Scientology, in that there is a moderator here, Miss Sunrise Dawn. How are you? It is nice to see you. And I think there are some, but I think the definite impression that I got is I am good, Sunrise Dawn. The difference is, I think, in what I think the results of this study are and what I think it would look like from a Scientology perspective is I get the impression that the Hare Krishna kids are still active in Hare Krishna. I mean, there's some disconnects and there's some cultural adjustment issues. There's all of those things that one would expect and that we see happening with the Scientologists. All of those things are going on. And these are people who still feel a cultural connection with ISKCON, with Hare Krishna. Thanks, Cricket. Fun things to know. Hare Krishnas have another way to recruit and get people stuck, different but still cultish. One of the things that we spent time talking about in Members Only Book Club on Tuesday night was how people are recruited into cults. What kinds of things need to happen, how to be a cult leader, in a few easy steps. The Hare Krishnas are still around, Sunrise Dawn. The Hare Krishnas are definitely still around. Kristen, did that answer your question? Are you still here, girl? I think we lost Danny. Pretty sure. He wasn't here very long. Yeah. We lost Kristen too, I think. Maybe she's still here. Cricket? Yes. Mm-hmm. The Hare Krishnas are still around. Danny is on a victory lap. Yeah, I bet he is. I bet he is. Oh, so I need to show. Good. It wasn't, I was hoping it would be, Kristen, I was hoping it would be Nico. I haven't forgotten your puppy. He's sitting right here next to me. I can see him, so I will show him in just a minute. Kristen, I was hoping it would be more related, but because they still feel a connection to both cultures, they still feel caught in between. And I'm more curious about this feeling where there's no in between, because they're not caught in between. Ha ha, Nebulous, hilarious. You hear? Okay, Kristen. Hi, Shaquille. How are you? It's good to see you. Hare Krishna to a sect of a polytheistic ideology and created a monotheistic branch from it. Interesting. They're still active, but less so as the internet makes people more aware. Are they less insular? Hare means hair in Swedish too. Cool. Krishna put a rabbit on top, they'd have a full head of hair. Hilarious. Well, I don't think they're related. I just thought that we could draw inferences about this study of Hare Krishna kids. We could draw inferences from their experiences to those of Scientology second gens. And I don't get that at all. I think that the second gen Scientology responses to these questions would be really different. So, you need ice cream. You were talking to Reese last night and she was eating ice cream. You've been in an ice cream mood ever since, so it's Reese's fault. We're going to start with Reese's fault now. We can blame everything on Reese. Oh, let's turn the background back on, you guys. We can show sunrise. Sunrise, you can tell me if you like my new background. What do you think? The Church of Sociopathy is a way more strict snitch or Stasi culture. I think so. Yes, how is India today, Shaquille? Some not so much I survived Hare Krishna. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting when because they were asked about self-esteem. So first of all, it's self-esteem and cross-cultural adaptation. But here's what it says. Current cultural membership. When asked about their current cultural membership, 12, how many participants? Remind me. 15. 15 participants. 15 participants. When asked about their current cultural membership, 12 out of 15 participants reported being in between mainstream and Hare Krishna culture. 2 preferred to identify with Krishna culture as opposed to ISKCON specifically, as one stated she was in between ISKCON and South Indian culture. Most evidence their cultural allegiance based on cultural involvement. For instance, if they did not follow the standards regularly within ISKCON culture, then they believed they could not pledge their allegiance to that specific culture. Similarly, if they did not watch television or get involved with politics, they did not think they could align themselves with mainstream culture. You think the culture shock is a link between the two. You have to reconcile your lived experience being so different from the majority of your peers who weren't in a cult. Definitely Stasi models of thought and vibes with Scientology, though American minds might understand Stasi as a Gestapo mindset. Um, I don't know about that, Nebulous. I know the difference, but I'm also a political science major who focused on the Middle East, which gives me a lot of grounding in the Second World War, believe it or not. Um, I don't know enough about Hare Krishna culture to know how open they are, but I think that this example of um, this example of the Krishna culture when they're still calling themselves as between cultures, I think is interesting. I don't like how unpredictable life outside the cult is. There's a comfort in some ways, the routine and thought process you were raised to follow. Well, yeah, it's not that things are unpredictable outside as much as things are controlled inside, so that you never have to make you have never it's not the unpredictability, in my opinion, it's that you never have to make a decision about the unpredictability. Do you follow me? You never have to make a decision about the unpredictability. So you're basically insulated from any unpredictability in the world, um, by the choices someone else makes. At least the Krishna cult is open about who they are, whereas Scientology says that they are Dianetics. I'm not sure how open the Krishnas are about being a cult. Um, I don't know. I that could be nebulous. I don't know enough about Krishnas at all to speak on them. All I know, I mean, I know I can speak on a lot of cults, but I know nothing about Krishna. Um, so I can't speak to how culty it is or not. If they are more open about who they are than Scientology is, well, then that's excellent. Openness and consent. I mean, you have to realize, you have to remember, there are high control groups everywhere. High control groups. Oh, Hare Krishnas try to practice religion while the Church of Scientology just use it as smoke and mirrors and their fraud. Yeah, I tend to agree with that, Nico. I see where you're going with that. Hare Krishna is based on actual religious writings, not made up. Okay. Well, then, at least at least there's some redeeming features, right? We have to remember again, there are high control groups and influence is on a spectrum. It's not an either or. We have to get out of this either or, black and white. Ah, there you go. That's true, Nebulous. You're not wrong. Hare Krishna evolved from Hinduism. They follow Krishna, who is, I know Krishna is one of the gods. I knew that. That I knew. I knew it was Hindu. Krishna is a Hindu god. I don't know their practice. I don't know their culture. It is a very old book. You use the Bhagavad Gita? Nice. So the issue isn't, is it a new religious group? Is it a weird religious group? The issue isn't even, is it a high control group? Because there's so many high control groups, right? Side branch of Hinduism as baptism is of Protestantism. Okay. Invented out of whole cloth, huh, DJ? Hare Krishna also focuses on a specific style of yoga. Okay. Okay. Yeah, COS is made up of whole cloth, made out of whole cloth. It's just lies from start to finish. Made up stories from start to finish. I am really looking forward to the second book we are reading in the members only book club. So it's called Mutants and Mystics. It's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind the French. This book is the second one. It's going to be so this book is this next one. We're already reading one book. So the next book we're reading in members only book club, and I know all y'all are members. The next book we're reading in members only book club is this one here. That's a good point, Nico. Mutants and Mystics, science fiction, superhero comics, and the paranormal. So it says, Kripal offers a brilliantly insightful account of how comic book heroes have helped their creators and fans alike and explore and express a wealth of paranormal experiences ignored by mainstream science. And Scientology is cuting. Oh, Nico. I understand for where I'm having to pull back on my memberships as well for not dissimilar reasons. So you can come through October, Nico. We would love to have you. We would love to have you. Oh, Indigo. Indigo, aren't you sweet? Faith, my relation to my beliefs, religion, how I apply my beliefs to others. You guys, thank Indigo for the gifted memberships. I think it's important to make a distinction for me, says Indigo. Faith is belief in a greater entity versus religion. The evolution of faith is seen by groups of people leading to insular thinking and interpretation. I think that fits Indigo, but I also agree with I look at it the same way that DJ is saying, that Nico's saying. Faith is my beliefs, and religion is how I practice. But I see that coming out of a church community as well. You can see faith is what the church community says they believe, and religion as what their practice comes out of. Sunrise Dawn, you didn't say what you thought of my new background. Indigo is making it rain. You're going to have to roll back your membership soon, too? Yeah. That's okay, Thrasher. Nobody has to be religious to be in here. Nobody has to be religious to be in here. We are open to all faiths. I am. Do you like it? There's also this one. Let me show you. There's also like this one. But I felt like this is much more homey. God stuff is metaphysical philosophy. The flip side are those with materialist philosophies. That's been the big debate. Oh, interesting, Kristen. Tell me more. Tell me more about what do you mean? What does it mean, materialist philosophies? Because I don't know that one off the top of my head. You can mess with both. Yes, you can. You can mess with the interpretation of God, and you can mess with how it's approached. You watch the Atheist Experience a lot sometime. You learned way much interesting things and arguments. Yeah. Here's what I believe. I believe that there are all kinds of beliefs and ways of doing things and cultures and experiences. And in all of those, there is a spectrum on how we practice that. And that spectrum runs from extremist, from extremes on one side to extremes on the other side, right? On both ends of the spectrum, there's extremes. And if you take everybody in the middle ends of the spectrum from all the different groups, and then take those people out and leave in all the people on the extreme ends of the spectrum from all religious sociopolitical groups, all those extremists, lump them all together. Those extremists have more in common than they have differences. They have more in common with each other than the rest of us have, than they have with their own groups. Does that make sense, y'all? You're a Christian witch. That's how you describe your journey. I can relate to that. You don't have to leave, Evie. Of course you don't have to leave. Just glad you're kidding. I'm backing up because I missed some stuff. We love having you here, Thrasher. I agree with what Indigo says. You're an atheist but interested in history. Yeah. I love history, and there's a lot of religion in history. As soon as the preaching dogma is the same as the preachers, you tap out. Yeah. We welcome all people here at all. You sit here with us. I can relate to Christian witch Indigo a little bit. I can relate. Materialism. It's where we get, like, is there a spirit of a soul, or do we need a body and a brain first, then to have a soul spirit? So a material body is needed, or reality, spirit, soul exists without material body? Okay. Interesting. That's interesting. So how is that related, Kristen? I'm sorry, I'm not drawing the right connections right now. Westernish mystic with no preferences. I am a mostly Western mystic myself, Nico. It is hard to tell with text sometimes. You died a few times. I know that there's a God, but I understand because I was just like you. Did you really die a few times, Nebulous? For real? There's a spectrum on the metaphysical stream for God stuff, like, will I kill for God or because my religious leader would said I had to? Materialists have a spectrum as well. Exactly. Everything has a spectrum. But I still say the extremists on all sides of all spectrums have more in common than they have different, whereas the other people would have differences. But all the extremists together have more in common with each other. Well, here we're going to learn more, Indigo. The best example is poor people in Cuba all went to the church after Castro liberated Cuba. All the poor people were now in their fields, and the old landlords were the ones in churches. Interesting, Kristen. In heavenly light, which is not the light from the big ball of hydrogen, you are right, but God is a good for those that see an earthly light. Yeah. Say that Marxism, African internationalism, communist style type theories, as opposed to deep into metaphysics. Interesting. In a dark room, all cats are gray. Indeed, That's another way to say it. Thank you, Nico. Mhm. The extremism, what I'm trying to say is extremism is always the problem. It's the extremism that's the problem. If you're on the extreme end of the spectrum, you're the problem. If you're certain you have the answer and killing everybody else is the solution, you are the problem. Cricket. I went to a Quaker church for quite some time. Um, it was quite excellent. It was quite excellent. Yes, Kristen, exactly that. I hate when the chat freezes. It's okay, Kristen. My punctuation sucks sometimes too, and it's hard to do. Wow, Nebulous. Well, I'm so glad you're here. That I hope it wasn't traumatic for you, too traumatic. I mean, it must have been traumatic. What am I saying? It must have been traumatic, but I'm so glad that you made it through. Believe in energies and entities. I just don't put a name on something that hasn't showed me its ID or passport. I yes. You're fully clear. We love your input. We love your input. Extremism is what we call things we don't like. I mean, it's certainly not a scientific term. And if we get back to high control groups and the difference between high control groups that we think are ethical and high control groups that we don't think are ethical. So, what are the differences that you guys can see between ethical high control groups and non ethical high control groups? You wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy, and I'm here to go through it all again. Someone has a sense of humor, and it ain't me. Well, I always say God has an incredible sense of humor. Don't ever pray to God for patience. That's not a smart thing to do. And yes, God does seem to have a sense of humor. In this group, I am in control. I am in this group. I am the ultimate dictator. Indeed, I am. That is partially why it's important to me that we're collaborative in here, guys, because I really don't want to be a dictator. Extremists tend to lean toward violence as a way to enforce ideology. I would agree with that, Indigo. You know, you were taught growing up here in the US that Muslims have extremists. However, as I've learned more materialist liberation struggles, what I knew was quite false overall. Um, Muslims have extremists, just like Christians and Jewish people have extremists, and Buddhists and Hindus have extremists. I mean, there are Buddhist terrorist death squads, right? Even though that seems to be something that makes no sense in any logical way considering Buddhism, but there are Buddhist terrorist death squads. So you are the assistant dictator, Sunrise Dawn. Yes, you are. You are tasked with carrying out all of my desires without question. Without question, you are, and actually voluntarily. I don't even need to ask. You bow to my wishes to that extent. Yeah. Say there are some prisoners and they desperately need to escape. They have to organize, be laser focused, and super high control so the escape plan works and they stay safe. Absolutely. High control. High control. So, what's the difference between an ethical high control group and a non ethical high control group? How do we make the difference between good ones and bad ones? Extremism and fanaticism tend to use violence as they can't always argue or make sense, but they feel themselves threatened or afraid if proven wrong. It is the fear of losing the foothold. Yes, we are your minions. Indeed, Evie. Oh, Nico, you are sweet. Indeed, Sunrise is an archangel. Indeed, she is. I think it's important to understand how governments weaponize people against each other by divisions of age, religion, etc. It's not faith that's the issue, it's the way it's used. Mm-hmm. Shaquille, we love having you here. It's also not politics that are the issue, it's the way they're used, right? It's if we talk about this week, the last 2 weeks of everything being on fire, what I find is that the delivery of the message means as much or more to me than the message itself. If I can't if I can't hear the message through the delivery, then you've lost me. And I think that's something really important for all of us to remember is we are the ones who choose our delivery. And of course, there's going to be people who for whatever reason no that they don't hear your delivery. There are going to be people out there who don't jive with the way I deliver a message. And that is cool. They're not my people. They shouldn't be here. It doesn't jive, and that's cool. So if you can't hear the message because of the delivery, then it's not your place. Or, I do what I can to change the delivery, but people don't have to do that. People don't have to do that. I think it's important to understand how governments weaponize people against each other. Yeah, it's not faith that's the issue, it's the way it's used. Exactly that. Hey, you can do all the great works you want, but do them in your name, Indigo. Do them in your name. With my urging. Cricket, I would love to have you be a flying monkey in that sweet sunrise. Indigo's very great point. War of the Flea speaks to this. War of the Flea. Okay, I need to write that down. War of the Flea. War of the Flea. Okay. Hold on, guys. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Machiavellian mindsets rule. It's what they teach in university. Yeah. Yeah. You learn something studying history. There is a pendulum between a cross and a sword, as in Western Europe. The more the cross has it, the more religion dictates. The more the sword, the govs. Yeah, and I think we got past, I think we thought we got past that, Nico, and I think it's come surging back. I think we thought that we were past it, and it's come surging back. I think we sort of thought we were in a post religion society, and clearly that's not the case. You're welcome, Shaquille. I'm glad you're here. Just people are going against our Constitution. Religion has no place with politics, and yet we keep seeing the two blended into people's campaigns. I think faith has a place in politics. I don't think religion does. So it is written, and so shall it be done. Nice, Cricket. Power and religion most times go hand in hand. It's why I'm so weary of religions. Yeah. Freedom is important indeed, Shaquille. Freedom is important. We all have a worldview, even if we cannot name it, and we view things through our own worldview. Yes, Kristen. Even if we cannot name it, and we view things through our own worldview, and we can't view things not through our own worldview. So the best we can do is sit back and question. And sometimes, if there's too little overlap between cultures and no one to bridge that overlap, because that's what all of us in some ways are called to do. We all come from multitudinous different cultures, and so we all cross between all these different cultures. And our job is to connect people together through those cultures, through those differences. That's what we do. That's my belief. That's what we do when we forge connection, is we connect with other people through their differences. And that creates more connection than disconnection, and that's what we need in the world. So it was written, but you're talking my notes now. What exactly? Our lens tends to be focused around ourselves, right? And the hard thing is to learn to try to unfocus that lens and to be curious about others. Euro's worldview includes that, but also it seems to, number one, make sure yourself is alive. So it seems like a good quest to stay alive, number one. Yeah, it's the US, Euro, Northern Hemisphere worldview is Very different if you look at Southern Hemisphere writings. And what we need, the way you be critical is you always look at the things that are critical. You engage with the criticisms, assuming they're valid criticism, which goes back to delivery. You have to learn enough about your opponent or the person you're delivering the message to try and make the message receivable. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. The challenge is opening our windows so we see the outside world more clearly. We will always take in lessons best based on our experience, but we have to be taught empathy. Yes, we have to be taught empathy, and we have to be taught ways to deal with it. Here in England, the colony was founded by a high control group. Mary Dyer and 3 others paid for their lives for being Quakers. Indeed, Cricket. Indeed. My ancestor had a big problem. My ancestor had a big problem with those high control groups. He was there before they arrived. He was not happy about it. Not happy about it at all. Sorry, guys, I desperately need some lip gloss. So I am looking before I can't talk anymore. But what's the difference between an ethical and an unethical control group, you guys? Open window had a brick wall and film on it. You couldn't see well at all, even though you paid so much to learn. Oh. Sometimes, Kristen, the learning has to be breaking down the brick wall and going out and doing does the learning. Jiminy Christmas, you guys, we have blown through 2 Minnesota goodbyes, and we are now at the 3rd Minnesota goodbye. And you guys are going to have to watch now and tell me who shows up after the 3rd Minnesota goodbye. But I can't believe we are already at a 3rd Minnesota goodbye, and I haven't even done the first one. And I've got so much to catch up on. How far behind am I? Oh, not too far. Okay, good. Yeah, I know on Boston Commons. I know, Cricket. But after it no longer belonged to my ancestor, that was. Okay, guys. We have disconnected ourselves from most of the world as we exploit its people so we can live well. We are the richest in the world. Yes, I know. And now we want to go isolationist. And I would just look to the results of the last time we went full isolationist. That's all I would say. Found an image of what drives religion. Some use shame, some use guilt. You think you have it, so you can send it to you. That'd be interesting, Nico. I will look. Let me check my things and see if you sent it. I've got the other things still to show that I promised I'd show. Okay, let's show the first thing first. Hold on. I promised I'd show it. There he is. Look at Nico's sausage dog. So adorable. So adorable. Okay, now Let's find this other one. This is interesting. Hold on. I don't know how to zoom this in, but let's look. So it says guilt cultures. Control is maintained by creating and continually reinforcing the feelings of guilt. Focuses on law and punishment and justice in the afterlife. Asks, is my behavior fair or unfair? Shame culture. Control is maintained by shame and the complementary threat of ostracism. Focuses on pride and honor. Concept of honor balance can lead to revenge dynamics. Asks how people will look at me if I do X. Appearances matter. Guilt and shame. Yes. And fear cultures. Control is maintained by the fear of retribution. Focuses on physical dominance. Asks, will someone hurt me if I do this? Those are really interesting, Nico. Thank you. Thank you. There is a similar bifurcation that you see about whether people ascribe to individualized culture or group culture. And individualized cultures are less group based, less group focus, more individual work, more individualistic goal setting, and group cultures are all about the group, and you're enculturated to the group. And when I saw this map about what motivates cultures, the individualism group culture maps just about one for one over the shame and guilt culture, which I find really interesting too. I think it takes time to take in the messages and learn how it applies to your individual experiences. Lessons have to be applied for change to happen. Indeed. It's hard for me to take seriously any speak of connectedness when you only see our general pop requiring disconnection. We can't be connected while kicking people's asses and taking their resources. What we can do, we can't be connected to them, no. But the only way to demonstrate to people what connection is and why they need to be connected to those people that we're taking resources from, the only way to demonstrate that to people is to show them what connection means. They're not going to do it just because. We have to have something to offer. We have to show them why it's important. I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I just think I won't cede my idea of what faith in practice means to people who are insisting that it means taking and hurting and ostracizing. I I will continue to try to extend hand across distances to look for connections where I can find it in every direction, because that the loss of those connections is what's killing us, in my opinion. In my opinion. I don't disagree with you, though. I hope you understand. I don't disagree at all. Completely out of your reach, and Scientology was shown to me, and then I tried not to be frightened away by others who were critical of it. Yes. Well, cultural adjustment, Kristen, cultural adjustment is a process. There's an actual process to cultural adjustment, just like there's a process to adjusting to death. There are processes, actual processes that people go through. And one of them is having snap judgments. And one of them is thinking that the other cultures are better than my own. There are a lot of steps that people go through in becoming culturally adept. It's not just a one-step thing. Lady Jane out. It is nice to see you. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. It is always good to see you. I am so far up. Anne, you're my third. Welcome in, sweetie. I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad you have family visiting. I hope you're having a great time. Thank you for stopping by to be the third Minnesota Goodbye winner today. It's so great to see you. I'm sorry I'm behind in the chat, so I hope you're still here. Dang it. I don't usually get this far behind in the chat. But here I am. You guys, I'm oh my goodness, I'm so behind. I'm keep getting off on tangents. I keep getting off on tangents. Let's see. The less knowledge and contact, the more fear and hate is allowed to grow. Exactly. Exactly. And the less knowledge and contact, the easier it is to tell stories about the other. If we don't have contact with the other, if we're not familiar with the other, then it's really easy to tell to believe the stories. That's how they do it in Scientology, right? There's no contact with the outside world. There's no contact with the outside world. So it's so easy for everyone to believe the stories they tell about those W words. Really, really a lot. At least 57-year-old. Oh my goodness, Nico, really? That's excellent. 57 years. You still have your baby blanket? Indigo, that's so sweet. They're really important. Yeah, Nico, it was really, really good. It's really good. Thank you for sharing it. Group cultures to tribalism. That's interesting, Nico. I'd love to hear more about that. Culture is formed from the economic structure. So you worry less about the culture itself, but its creation origin. Culture, I'm not sure culture is formed just from the economic structure. I would agree that culture is partially economic, but I wouldn't agree it's all the economic structure. We have more in common with each other than differences, though according to the overlords, you would find that hard to believe. Indeed, nebulous. Also, the will to change comes from inside and insights. If forced from outside, it caused distress and trauma. Exactly. Exactly. That is why it's so important to me, to be gentle in my messaging when I am out protesting. That, because it can't be enforced, because it has to come from insight and insights. And furthermore, everybody I've read, every expert on cults says you have to build a relationship, or at least you have to be kind. They won't hear you if you're attacking. And that's true of any cult. They're not going to hear you if you're attacking. And you need to think about it with what I've been saying about delivery all morning here. Delivery is vital. And if someone feels you're attacking, you may not think you're attacking. But if they think you're attacking them, your message isn't going to be heard. It's just the way it is. It doesn't matter if you think you're attacking. It doesn't matter how innocent you think you are. If the other person thinks you're attacking them for whatever reason, may not be your fault, may not be anything you can do about it. I'm just saying, if they think that, your message ain't going to get through. You have family visiting, so you can't stay, but wanted to say hi since you've been off on vacay and catching up. I'm so glad you came by, Anne. It's so nice to see you all the time. We can't know what connection is, as we are the main perpetrators of disconnection, so it's a tad condescending. I don't I don't believe that we can't know what connection is. And I don't believe that we as individuals are perpetrators of disconnection. I don't believe you can hold people responsible for the actions of their government like that. Um, I don't hold other people in other countries responsible for the actions of their leaders that I find horrible. Um, I think I'm not an apologist for America, but I'm also not one to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I tend to think that there's value, maybe even in the bathwater, but certainly in the baby. And the trait of throwing the baby out with the bathwater is certainly one that seems to be universal. That's all. Sometimes there's nobody to blame. Sometimes finding somebody to blame is the problem. And I say that as a representative of Northern European American cis het white culture. I don't buy there's no redeeming qualities ever. Oh, thank you, Anne. We haven't been doing much bacon today, have we? I think the connection is finding a common ground with someone and finding out a way to even understand, finding out a way to understand even if you have a barrier of some kind. There you go, indigo. Mhm. I think connection is certainly easier with people who are just like us, but I don't find that's connection. I mean, that's great, but I also love to forge connection with people who are really different than I am. Try to live by the golden rule, it is neutral and honest. Yes, I try to do the same, Nico. Probably Kristen. Yeah, we're totally. Yes. Culture is formed, then you adjust to the cultures. Yeah. Yeah. You're still here, Lady Joynelle? Good, Anne. I'm so glad. Some lovely tangents today, indeed. From a possibility of millions of others, you made it first onto that one in a million eggs that Mummy got from her mummy's mummy. That makes you a winner before you were even born. Yeah. Isn't that the coolest thing, Nebulous? That your eggs aren't even your own, your eggs come from your mother. So you're the actual mother of one's children is their grandmother, the child's grandmother. My mom is actually my child's mother. My mother is actually my grandmother. It's a very, very weird thing. It's so cool. It's so cool. Yes to pierogies, always pierogies. A cartoon of Orion. Now we're going to have to show that right now. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Cricket. Oh, moving windows all over the place. Moving windows. Here we go. Oh my goodness! 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 Cricket! You guys. Just wait a second. You guys. Look at that! Oh my God! Send me some papers, Kristen. I'd love to see some papers that say culture comes from economy. I'd love to see that because I would have actually argued the opposite. Oh my God, Cricket. Oh my God, Cricket. Tori Magoo said the thing that got her to leave was asking her, if you're free, why can't you read whatever you want? This stays in your mind. Exactly. Exactly. Maybe we have to have a conversation, Kristen. That might be fun to do. I tend to be pretty meta, and I tend to have my own theories about stuff that I generally don't put well into the proper philosophical terms, so I can be a little difficult to understand. We, as in all of us, are someone's daughter, someone's son. Everyone is someone. That's why someone should always help everybody. Indeed, Nebulous. No one to blame than a lot of people who are afraid or unwilling to take accountability. That may be. It also may be, don't sis at you. Well, it's true. I am cishet. Okay, DJ. Sometimes it's too late to find our connection and our asses get tossed in the ocean. Sometimes it is. That's why you should always find connections. And really and truly, it's the weak connections that are more important than the tight ones. Believe it or not. It's those weak links that are the vital ones. You can see the distinction between looking for differences or looking for common ground. I think so too. I think often you can. I think culture can get in the way. I know that there are cultures where it is normal and not unusual at all to see two grown men in public screaming in each other's faces. It's not so normal in American culture. And so when Americans see videotapes like that, they get a little wigged out and they make some assumptions. I know there are cultures where it is normal to stand closer to other people than it is in America, and that can wig Americans out. So there are things that one can do unwittingly that can cause another to believe that they're looking for differences, is all I'm saying. But yes, in general, I think you're absolutely right, Nico. The world has always wanted connection. We're the ones who are separated from the rest of humanity as cisheads. That could be, Kristen. I don't know. You're working in sewer water, pausing for cartoon. Isn't he amazing? Lady Jane out, the cartoon happened. He does need a little bit longer hair, but so adorable. Yes, she did. Cricket did totally break me. AI will let you modify it anyway. Like, I love it, Cricket. I love it. He needs to be a little more black and tan, a little more black than tan, and long, long hair. So adorable. You're losing an argument with your eyelids. Gonna have to catch a nap before mom brings the kiddo back. Okay, sunrise, Dawn, you go catch a nap. Oh my goodness gracious, you guys. I just love this. You like America, Shaquille? I don't know. America's got its problems. Cricket, I love it. I love it. Hold on. Oh, I need to save it. Why do I need to save it right now? Because I've caught up. Oh, you guys can see me trying to save it. That's funny. I forgot it was still in the background. Let's see if we can make it the background. That's what I was trying to do. It is adorable. It is adorable. Let's see. There he is. Look at that. It's not the best looking background on the planet, but it's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. Thank you, Cricket. I really like it. I really like it a lot. So, guys, we are past the 4th Minnesota goodbye. This has been a lovely chit chat, y'all. I hope everyone found it interesting. I'm not sure if we solved the problems of the world. But we at least forged some connection, better understanding. What is connection? Maybe I'll look that up. Maybe we can talk about what connection is next week. See if we can, we'll include some critical theory in there. Version 2. Oh, Cricket is on it. Version 2. She broke me again. So adorable. So adorable. With a footstool. Smoking a pipe. Orion, you want to see a picture of you, Bubba? Come here. We'll say goodbye. Come on. Oh, there he is. There he is. Let's look at this wonderful. Oh, stop. Come on. We need to hide that. And we need to, oops, stop. Stop. We need to go to original. Here we go. There's a baby. Oh, indigo. That's such a great idea. That's such a great idea. Oh, Cricket, I love having you here. Orion, would you stop already? I'm trying to stop screen sharing so Orion and I can say goodbye to y'all. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, guys. Maybe I'll make some Scotch and soda cartoons. Those are so cool. Okay. Catch you guys tomorrow night. Tomorrow night for book club. Please join me tomorrow night at 6 o'clock to read chapters. Ooh, what chapters? Chapters 30 through 32. I can't recall. Yep, chapters 30 through 32 of Jenna Miscavige's book. I know, Chesterfield. Okay, Nico. Excellent. Yeah, I love the Chesterfield. I have a Chesterfield sofa in my living room. It's beautiful. Just beautiful. I love it. Okay, guys. Hugs, y'all. Hugs and hugs. Thanks for stopping by. It's always so hard to say goodbye. That's why we have so many Minnesota goodbyes, because it's really hard for me to